to my MOR professor, Dr. Ronnie B. Lizada, to our dear panelists, Dr. Hilary J. Vocales, Sir John Raymond F. Tirado, Madam Lady Michelle C. Morancel, and of course to my research advisor, Dr. Cetrobel Aldeguer. A beautiful and full of hope morning to each and every one. I am DGB Sayse, and I am going to present my final oral defense entitled Factors Affecting the Compliance of Performance Tasks of Grade 6 Students in Music. To study music is to study the basics. Music is a comprehensive art within its study. Students come into contact with other basic areas of the curriculum: math, science, social studies, languages, and physical education. While music is a subject with its own body of knowledge and is inherently worth knowing, its comprehensive nature serves as a foundation for a unified and comprehensive educational setting. During the pre-pandemic, teaching music was normally held outdoors and was socially engaging since there are no restrictions like having close contact with others. When the pandemic began, the objective of music is to train students in health awareness. It is a challenge for educators. We can barely monitor students. Since the pandemic started, the students' mode of independency has enlarged regardless of the condition. A pandemic impacts learners to become more vigilant in health and more engaged in physical activities in their way. Teachers face difficulties under the current normal education system. In my own experience, it is quite hard to communicate with the students due to the lack of gadgets and accessibility where they live. Our school is applying modular print learning, and some parents cannot go to school during the retrieval and distribution schedule of modules. Hence, there is a delay in the delivery of lessons to students. The researcher will conduct this study to identify the difficulties of the grade 6 students in complying with their performance tasks in music subjects. This study aims to identify the reasons for their low ratings in their music subject. This will also help the educators to adopt possible intervention activities to help students improve their performance rating in the performance task. The data gathered through this study will serve as support materials to help the grade 6 students improve their performance rating in music subjects. Also, it will guide the subject teachers in drafting appropriate performance tasks in music. Let's proceed to our statement of the problem. Statement of the problem number 1. What is the profile of the grade 6 students in terms of sex? And the findings: in terms of sex, there were 11 female participants, which comprised 55% of the total population, and 9 male participants, who comprised 45%. Letter B, monthly income of parents. While most participants' monthly income of parents is less than 9,520. Letter C, learning resources. The learning resources of the respondents show that 13 participants prefer to use Moodle as their learning resources. Letter D, social media influence. There were 7 participants who considered social media influence as a form of entertainment. Letter E, time spent on a performance task. Lastly, it presents that 16 or 80% participants spend 1 hour and below on answering. And the conclusion of the statement of the problem number 1, that most of the participants were female who engaged in the study whose monthly income of parent is less than the minimum wage in the Philippines. And the majority prefer to spend enough hours accomplishing their performance tasks with the aid of modules. as their main learning resources. Similarly, they considered social media influence as a form of entertainment. Statement of the problem number 2. What is the level of accomplishment of grade 6 students in their performance task music? And its findings: on the level of accomplishment of grade 6 students in their performance task music, item number 11 received the highest response where they performed their task well because they love this subject, with a mean of 3.97 and standard deviation of 0.923. And the conclusion that the level of accomplishment of grade 6 students was considered as high in their performance task in music, except for items number 9 and 15, where they responded average, where they work well with performance task with friends or colleagues and work well independently without any support. Let's proceed to statement of the problem number 3. What are the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks of grade 6 students in music? On the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks of grade 6 students in music, the highest response of the participants was item number 8, where they considered MAPE a stability of study habits with a mean of 4.11 and a standard deviation of 0.900. And the conclusion that the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks of grade 6 pupils in music, that the majority of the participants agreed except for items number 1, 2, and 3 on the family's socioeconomic or family income hinders their performance in MAPE. Then they lack resources, technology at home, and their geographical location, distance from home to school of the educational institution. Statement of the problem number 4. Is there a significant difference in the level of accomplishment of grade 6 students in their performance task music when grouped according to profile? On the other hand, there is no significant difference in terms of sex. The F value is 0.518 with degree of freedom 34 and the P value is 0.904. While monthly income of parents, the F value is equals to 0.875 with a degree of freedom equals to 16 and 18 and the significance of 0.603. And time spent of performance task with F value is equals to 1.240 with a degree of freedom is equals to 1618 and P value 0.328 respectively. And the conclusion of the statement of the problem number 4, that there is no significant difference in the level of accomplishment of performance tasks across variables on sex, monthly income of parents, and time spent on performance tasks. This result retained the null hypothesis stated in the first chapter. Statement of the problem number 5. Is there a significant difference in the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks of grade 6 students in music when grouped according to profile? The findings is, meanwhile, there is no significant difference in the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks of the participants in terms of sex. It showed that the F value is equals to 0.518. The degree of freedom is equals to 1618 and significance of 0.904. While in terms of monthly income of parents, the F value is equals to 0.875 with the degree of freedom is equals to 16 and 18 and significance 0.603. Lastly, in terms of time spent with, the F value is equals to 1.240 with the degree of freedom is equals to 16 and 18 and the significance is 0.328. And the conclusion that the performance tasks of the participants are not significantly different in the factors affecting the accomplishment of performance tasks in music across variables on sex, monthly income of parents, and time spent on performance tasks. This result retained the null hypothesis stated in the first chapter. Statement of the problem number 6. Based on the findings of the study, what enhancement activity will be introduced? The findings is the result of the study served as a basis for recommending enhancement activities to improve the implementation of the elementary school MAPE curriculum of the K-12 programs. And the conclusion for the statement number 6, I prepared enhancement activity that was taken from Music Module 1, 2, and 3 for third quarter. Instead of objectives, I used target tools. For obstruction, I indicated I need to know this. And for application, I prefer use test yourself. Aside from this, I prepared rubrics to measure the performance of my students. And here are my references. I am now ready to hear your helpful and constructive comments that will enhance my study. Thank you so much and God bless us all.